The solar flash will transform all starseeds and lightworkers. You will expand into your true, infinite, multi-dimensional godlike form. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the aspects of how you will transform as a result of this ongoing solar wave event. And we are going to understand what is the difference between a starseed and a lightworker and why you need to know this information. You will be like this eyeball in the middle of the universe where you will be able to see and experience everything while still having a physical body. Most people up until this point in their three-dimensional existences, you have had to die, leave your 3D body before you could expand into a multi-dimensional experience. And I want to get to something right away. If you're a starseed or a lightworker, you're interested in escaping the matrix, the ascension event, all of that, I need to tell you to please drop all of your beliefs having to do with avoiding going into the light. That going into the light is a reincarnation soul trap. Nothing could be further from the truth. The one thing you will have to drop in order to experience what I'm going to talk about is you're going to have to drop the fear. Only frightened, insecure, limited beings are afraid of light. Cockroaches. What happens when you turn a light on in a room that has cockroaches? The cockroaches go scurrying away. Are you a cockroach? I don't think so. Light is who you are. If you're running away from the light, you are running away from your essence. We could talk more about that, but please just do me a favor. Just at least meditate on that. It's okay if you have fears and doubts. But if you spend enough time on this channel, and more importantly, if you do the exercises that I teach, you'll be able to drop all that fear. Imagine not having to be afraid of anything. Why don't you just think about that for a second? Think about not having to be afraid of anything. Not having to be suspicious about anything. And it doesn't mean that you're ignorant. I'm not ignorant of what's going on this planet. I'm not ignorant at all about what's happening with the powers that be, but I'm not afraid of them. They can't touch me. And if you do the same things that I do, you can have the same fearlessness about them and curiosity and excitement about everything, especially becoming more and more powerful in the light. Okay, so Starseeds and Lightworkers. I want you to understand that it is possible to be both a starseed and a lightworker, but it's also possible that not all starseeds are lightworkers. All lightworkers are starseeds, but not all starseeds are lightworkers. So in order to understand that, I need to also dispossess you of another fallacy out there. The understanding of a starseed is that a starseed is a very advanced soul that has incredible power and incredible light and is originally from another solar system, another galaxy, another dimension. And a starseed is somebody who has heard the call from planet Earth, asking for higher dimensional light beings to come and incarnate and work as an army of light to change and transform the human race and planet Earth up to what we call 5D. That is, I agree with everything that I just said. Now, there's one other thing that people say about starseeds that I don't agree with. And that is the idea that starseeds are somehow different than other incarnated humans. That there are lower incarnated humans that aren't as spiritual, that aren't as powerful, that aren't as bright, and they are part of the 3D, and Earth is their home. But for the starseed, Earth is not their home. They're not used to it. And even though it has a much harsher effect on the starseed is still a more evolved, an older soul, a brighter, more highly vibrational being. And that's just bigotry. Pure and simple. It's okay that you feel that way, because that is a very, very understandable feeling. I felt like that my whole life. I can remember being 16 and trying to explain to my mother that I didn't belong here, that this wasn't my home. I didn't like it here. That people were cruel and mean and unconscious and destructive and violent, and this just wasn't my home. I didn't belong here. So I relate to the feeling that you have, but that's what it is. It's a feeling. And the idea that you are somehow different from maybe some or the majority of humans is actual bigotry. It's self-righteousness. It means that you feel that you are superior to them. And the truth is that every single human being who incarnates on planet Earth is a starseed. Some of them may be more aware of their starseed essence than you are. You may have come here with more of an awareness, but it doesn't make you, in terms of your soul, any different from them. Because the truth of the matter is that it's not like there are beings that are like into 3D and like, yeah, that's part of their deal and you're not part of that. And this is their home and this isn't your home. This is nobody's home. This is the most difficult school in the multiverse. And beings of light desperately want to come here. And the truth is that the majority of light beings are talked out of it. Their guides will sit them down and say, listen, yes, the idea of coming to Earth is very empowering. You learn a lot and you gain a huge amount of power and evolution by coming to Earth. But you don't realize how difficult it is. You don't understand the starseed guides will say to their students, they will say, you don't understand what it's like to take the frequency that you have now and dial it down so far down beyond what you can even comprehend. It's incredibly difficult, and then to forget who you are and to wake up in this very dense, difficult, challenging world, and to be an infant and a child and to be dependent upon other people who are still trying to figure out who they are and what's going on. You have no idea how difficult that is. That's what happens with most light beings. They get talked out of coming here. And the guides will say to them, go do some more work. Go do it, maybe incarnate on some other planets that maybe aren't quite that far down on the vibrational scale. Build up your strength. Really think about it. Because the people who come here, even if they are the worst people you can possibly imagine, in the interdimensional realm, when they're no longer in the third dimension, these are the most evolved, the highest vibrational beings in the universe, and they are all starseeds. So let's get rid of the spiritual bigotry. There's no such thing as starseeds and then lower vibrational humans. You know, just because you're having a lot of intense feelings, because you've been through a lot of trauma and pain, and because you're very sensitive, and because you can feel and sense that there's a stronger purpose and you're from another galaxy or planet, that does not mean that the people in your life or the people around you who are struggling to find out who they are and who may have harmed you, it doesn't mean they're any less than you. That is a child's mind. That's what children do. And it's time to grow up. So, every single person on the planet is a starseed. But not everybody's a light worker. Now you can kind of get into your own self-righteousness and feel a little better. If you are somebody who has spent any time or any energy focusing on bringing spiritual light to the world, seeking to destroy the lower vibrational, unconscious, narcissistic devaluation energy that comes at every single human. If you have put energy towards destroying the ignorance and the lack of awareness that is coming from the narrative, that's coming from religion, that's coming from education, that's coming from the corporate world, that's coming from governments, that's coming from deep state. If you're one of those people, you are a light worker. So you could have, pick your least favorite politician. You could say that person's not a light worker. They are a starseed though, but they're not a light worker. You're a light worker. So, what will happen to all beings who end up taking this shift is that you will shift into remembering how incredibly powerful and expansive you are. I remember meditating 30 years ago, and I was doing a very powerful meditation, and I felt myself come out of my body, and I saw my body, which somehow had gotten much larger, meditating in space, surrounded by stars and galaxies. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I felt a presence come near me, and this presence said to me telepathically, when you look up in the sky, you're looking inside yourself. When you look into the infinity of the universe, you're looking inside of yourself. In other words, you're this amazingly huge being. Now, back then, I didn't take it all that seriously because I hadn't had the experiences I've had over this past year. Over this past year, the experiences I've had as a result of working directly with higher dimensional beings, light beings, from other galaxies and other star systems and other dimensions. These beings have showed me that I am in fact far, far more powerful and expansive than my human brain can even begin to understand. And so they've been working very hard for almost a year to help me to start to understand more and more of this. And the reason for that is because when this shift continues to grow in intensity, what the light workers will begin to do is they will begin to wake up more and more and more to their true expansive essence, to their true status as deities. So I want you to think about the most powerful deity that you might worship: Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Odin, Thor, Lakshmi, Freya, Zeus, Athena, Durga, Kali, I don't care. Pick the most powerful deity you can possibly think of. And now imagine that you are that. Maybe you're not Kali, maybe you're not Shiva, maybe you're one of the other deities. But I guarantee you, whatever you can imagine in your 3D brain, you are 1 billion times more expansive and powerful and infinite than that. And so usually what happens is, in order to experience that, somebody has to die. And when they die, their soul goes to, depending on their karma and their, how many times they've incarnated and these kinds of things, they will go to like a decompression heaven. They'll go to a very relaxing heaven that is beautiful and perfect, and rainbows and Skittles falling from the tree, and everything you can imagine, unicorns, all of that. And then what will happen is, after they've sort of thawed out from the intensity of 3D, then they'll meet with their guides. They'll have a life review, and they'll look at the choices that they made. They'll remember why they came here, and they'll assess how successful they were at accomplishing the goals that they brought with themselves. They'll take a look at some of the ways that they made decisions that went contrary to what they were trying to accomplish. And then after that, now this is the part you don't hear, because a lot of near-death experiences end there, and then they get sent back. Or the truth is, they don't get sent back. My apologies. They choose to come back. They choose to come back. But if they were to stay, if they were to go and say, I'm not going back to Earth, I want to stay here in this beautiful spiritual realm, then what would happen is they would move beyond that heaven that they were in, and they would begin to remember that they were in fact a deity. They would begin to expand beyond, because once you start expanding beyond the idea of I'm walking around in a physical body, even if it's in this multi-dimensional heaven, once you get beyond that, it gets kind of difficult to squeeze yourself back into a 3D body. But what is going to happen now is that human beings, as this solar wave ascension phenomenon continues, and it is going to continue, as this continues, people are going to have the same kinds of experiences that people have in near-death experiences. They're going to have life reviews. They're going to see, they're going to remember their true reason for coming to Earth. They're going to remember many of their past lives. And then they're going to start remembering the expansiveness of their true essence. Now, I don't know what your particular situation is going to be like. I don't know that. The first few months of this expansive process that happened to me, which almost destroyed my brain. I almost went crazy. It was such a powerful and instantaneous shamanic initiation into the light being world that I physically, it caused me I physically hurt myself as a result. I got frozen shoulder, and I couldn't move, and I was in tremendous pain. Thankfully, I know how to deal with that kind of stuff, so I was able to cure myself of it very quickly. But not everybody's going to have that kind of experience. You may not have that intensive an experience, and maybe that's not the kind of experience you want. I'm kind of stupid and weird, so I like that stuff. But maybe you want something a little more gentle than that. But whatever your experience is, you will start moving toward that direction. And the great thing about it is that the goal that is coming as a result of this ascension is that everybody will have the opportunity, if they choose to be able to be in multiple dimensions at once. They will be able to be physical human beings in a 5D Earth where there is no politics, there's no government, there are no banks, there's no violence, there's no narcissistic devaluation, there's no petroleum companies, there's nobody, there's no money, nobody will be charging you for anything. People will live in connection to themselves, to each other, to the earth and to the infinite universe. Very likely there won't be guys on Harleys either. I find that so annoying. You get the loudest vehicle so that everybody in a 5-mile radius knows that you exist. Anyway, I don't know. There might be Harleys. I have no idea. But the understanding is that we're going to have to die to this 3D world. And you're going to have to die to your limitations. And you're going to have to accept your interdimensional, extra-dimensional, infinite deity status. Because again, if you've been incarnated as a human, it means that your soul is the top tier of souls. You are one of those souls that has the most knowledge, enlightenment. You're of a very high frequency and you're incredibly strong. This includes people that didn't make it, that didn't make it in life. This includes people that offed themselves or were very destructive or became narcissistic psychopaths. Even those people, when their 3-dimensional prison they're released from that, they will come back to a state, they will be seen as high-level souls. That's how difficult it is to be human. So you're right. If you feel like 3D Earth is a prison, it isn't a prison because you chose to be here. So that it's not a prison. Nobody conned you into coming down here. Nobody's down here stealing your energy. It's just an incredibly difficult, low density, high pressure experience for the soul. And the soul has, again, it forgets who it is. It forgets its connection to other higher dimensional beings, and it gets lost in the illusion of isolation and feeling alone and unloved and all of that. And of course, the challenges that come from being with other unconscious souls who are walking around in human meat bags. So you're right about that. But that is going to change. Having said that, like I say many times before, I won't take up too much time, but we're going to have to learn how to disconnect from our nervous systems, our unconscious, and our training, which tells us how to survive in 3D, because the way that you survive in 3D is with 3D mindset, which is fear, isolation, anger, competition, all that kind of negative stuff. Those are things that we've used to survive. You're feeling like a victim, feeling like, in fact, the idea that a starseed is something that's superior to the average human, that is a 3D narcissistic defense mechanism. You're going to have to drop all of those things because they don't work in 5D. 5D will burn that away. So you start doing that now. First thing you do is you start with the assumption that you are a very high level deity. And as I say that, whenever I say those phrases, I can feel the light beings just, pumping all kinds of energy into me. They love you hearing that in higher dimensions, you are a deity. You are the most powerful being possible because you had been given the opportunity to come and be human. So assume that. You don't feel it, that's okay. I mean, I just went out surfing and got my ass handed to me by some big waves, and I thought, wow, an infinite deity who's having to, scratch around and having a hard time dealing with these waves. But that's just the experience of being in 3D. We experience being this little, finite, powerless, isolated being. But that's just the illusion of the video game of the third dimension. So just assume that. Next thing you need to do is to start taking actions that go against all of your 3D programming that tells you to be afraid, to be angry, to feel like a victim, all of that stuff. So you're going to have to take some actions going contrary to that. Now, you can't do that with your 3D mind and your 3D body and your 3D energy. You won't have the ability to take some actions. So you're going to have to find a source of power that is from higher dimensions that will give you the strength and the ability and the awareness and the freedom to start taking actions toward experiencing your higher dimensional status. And that can be found only through spiritual practices, meditation, and energy practices. If you already have some of that going on in your life, great. Keep doing that, because that's the only way that you can act contrary to your limiting 3D programming. If you're looking for something, this is why I'm here. The thunderwizard.com lightning qigong is the most powerful energetic practice in the history of the human race. It's the only energy practice in the history of humankind where you have a combination of Kundalini expansion, Qigong, which is energy work. Qi is the life force energy that surrounds you, and the lightning power of the heart mind, which is around your heart. There's a very powerful lightning energy that normally stays dormant and self-contained to protect your soul from the ravages of 3D. When you release that energy, you actually tap into the power of the gods, the ability to destroy demons with your bare hands. But of course, what really happens is you destroy your self-directed negativity, your fear, your self-hatred, your doubt, all of that stuff. So imagine an energy practice that has all three of those things. If you get one of those things, Kundalini, which is the awareness that comes from higher dimensions, Qigong, which is the energy of the web of weird, the conscious web of the matrix, meaning the mother that surrounds you and created you. Imagine combining all three of those together. There's been nothing like it. And I just recently got a comment from somebody that says, I've been doing Qigong and yoga my whole life, and I've never experienced anything like the lightning Qigong. I hear that all the time from Qigong masters, yoga masters, ever since I started teaching this stuff. So this kind of energy will give you the ability. If you need an energy practice, go to thunderwizard.com, subscribe to the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. You'll also get access to the Interdimensional Meditation course. So interdimensional meditation is my way, it's the word that I use, of hooking up directly with light beings who are now literally waiting for you to ask to connect with them. And when you connect directly with them, they will help you. By the way, there's been multiple light beings with you your entire life. They were there with you when you chose to incarnate. They've been with you through your whole life. You can call them spirit guides. You can call them guardian angels. You can call them higher self. You can call them ancestor spirits. You can call them whatever you want. Elves, fairies, it doesn't matter. These beings have been with you and are with you right now. And all you have to do is simply ask. But you have to consciously ask for a higher dimensional experience. This is what the interdimensional meditation does. I teach you how to do that. There are guided interdimensional meditations on this channel. Please don't ask me to go and find the videos for you. You're perfectly capable of doing a search for yourself. If you don't know how to do that, let me explain it to you. I don't know what device you have, if you have a phone or a tablet or a computer or a laptop. If you're on a computer or a laptop, go to the thunderwizard.com, DOTCOM, channel page, and you'll see a menu. And on the far right of the menu, you will see a magnifying glass. Click on the magnifying glass and type in interdimensional meditation, and you'll see all of the videos, and you'll find the free guided interdimensional meditations. If you go to thunderwizard.com and subscribe to the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong, you can do the same thing from within the Patreon, and you can find the interdimensional guided meditations where I teach you how to not only connect to higher dimensional beings, but to invite them and vector them back to where you are so that you can have a personal physical experience of them. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to manifest in 3D, but they will come into your physical space. You'll be able to feel them. And then you'll learn how to communicate on an interdimensional level. That happens, the telepathic communication between higher beings and yourself is a trip in and of itself, and will expand you beyond what you can even begin to understand. I also have my books, Interdimensional Revolution and Extraterrestrials Are Coming to Earth. And again, I just looked, and people aren't buying the books. I don't get it. They're really cheap. You need the information in those books. So get Interdimensional Revolution and get Extraterrestrials Are Coming to Earth. You can find it on Amazon, Kindle, or Audible. And that's it. Those are all of the things that I make available to you. And, if you subscribe to the Lightning Qigong, you can unsubscribe whenever you want. You got nothing to lose. One other thing I want to make available, people are starting to sign up, so they're starting to go away. By the way, you don't have to sign up at the first of the month. Maybe you are because you need to, save your money or whatever. But the 6-phase Ascension Apprenticeship Program is a 6-month intensive apprenticeship between me and you. You work with me directly through audio on Skype. And once a month we get together and we talk. And I will take you through the first 6 steps that will allow you to do what I have been doing for the past year. It's taken me a year to sort of figure out what this is all about, and the quickest way to put yourself in a position where you can learn how to expand and interact with these higher dimensional beings. Because again, the goal for all people, all human beings on this planet, is after this solar wave ascension event has finished, which I don't know if it's going to take months or years, but it's going to take a little while. When this event is over, every human being that has chosen to stay and chosen to evolve will be multidimensional. And it will be the most intense, outrageously powerful, expansive, spiritual, evolutionary experience that any being anywhere has ever experienced. That's why all of the beings, the gods, the ETs, the light beings, the spirit guides, disembodied souls, all beings in all different dimensions have their eyes fixed on Earth, because the people that are here are the most amazingly powerful, wonderful, beautiful, intense, immense beings in existence, because we are going to experience an evolutionary event within ourselves that the rest of the universe is going to be in awe of and are going to be envious of. They're happy for us, but they would like, gosh, I wish I could have what they're having. So I'm here to provide you with as many tools as possible. I now finally realize what I've been doing the whole 60 years of my life. I've been preparing myself for this moment to give you the tools that I have found and syncretized and improved upon for my entire adult life. This is the reason that I'm here. So you have all of the links. Go check them out. At the very least, get yourself into the free meditations. You can do the Huul breath, which you can hear in the background, Huul breath. Just go Google that. You can do the Qigong meditations. You can find those on playlists in my channel. Get up off your rear end and go look for them. You can find the Heaven Earth meditation. You can find all kinds of stuff for free. The Awakening the Immortals Qigong, that's probably one of the most powerful practices I've ever done, and I give that away to you for free on this channel. Go do it. Do something every day. Tell your friends about this channel. Take the links for these videos, put it on your Facebook, on your Twitter, and also go to Rumble, because I have a thunderwizard.com Rumble channel as well, and I'll be uploading the spicy stuff that I can't talk about here on YouTube. So that's it for me for today, my friends. Solar Flash is going to transform all star seeds and especially light workers. You will expand into your true infinite 5D godlike form while still having a physical body in the higher dimensional 3D state that we will be living in, free from all of the pain and difficulties that we currently experience. That's it. I love you all. If you have questions, you can put them into the video comment section. If I like your question, I will make a video about it. I wish you all the best, and we'll see you all very soon.